Monster Jam fans, welcome out to Ford Field as Monster Jam Week 8 continues with Stadium Tour Red action as Detroit, Michigan gets its first stop in 2 years. It has been a long time coming since Monster Jam was here. It's been 3 years, actually. They weren't even here in 2020. It was one of the shows that was coming up, but then got canceled. Let's meet the drivers in this returning show to Detroit. Starting off, we have Aaron Kane filling in the Jester Monster Truck. More on that coming up later. For show number 1, Ryan Disharoon will be piloting Saigon Shaker. This is a 2-show event. Nick Pagliarulo is here in the Kraken, and Jamie Garner is in the American Overboard. Cynthia Gauthier drives the honky tonker. That is the Lucas Stabilizer. Bryce Kenny's here in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. There's the honky tonker. We have Mark List in El Toro Loco and Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl. And we get into the final 4 here. John Gordon in the Bad Company has been on fire lately. One of the best drivers on this tour. He has been dominant. Todd the Duke's here in Blue Thunder. Finally got an updated driver card for him. Adam Anderson has fallen out of the top spot on this tour. He is here in Gravedigger. And your current tour leader, who is entering the track right now, the 12th-time World Finals champion, Tom Meents in Max D. Stadium Tour Red preparing for 2 great shows right here in Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field. Let's get ready for Monster Jam Racing. We start off the night here with a matchup of the teammates as Jamie Garner in the American Overboard takes on Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl. Jamie Garner, this gorgeous American Overboard truck, rocking it out for the 2nd straight week. His teammate Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl is holding right in there with him as the two are very close in this final turn. But Jamie Garner cuts it a little bit too tight in that final turn and is knocked out here in round number 1. Cole Vennard off to round number 2. Now the next pairing here in round number 1, we have Mark List and El Toro Loco taking on Aaron Kane and Jester. Aaron Kane, normally the driver of the Quad Chaos Monster Truck, formerly the driver of the Quad Chaos Monster Truck. That is now Bailey Shea's truck. So he's got a chance to drive out here in Jester this weekend. He's got a tough matchup here as Mark List has a lead. Snags himself a round 1 win. Aaron Kane, though, holding himself up there. Pretty good race. More round 1 action. Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior takes on Cynthia Gauthier in the Lucas Stabilizer, the Honky Tonka. That's my name for the truck. Cynthia, major mistake there after that first turn. She cut that thing way too tight, didn't stop turning in time, and Bryce Kenny has a spot in round 2 because of it as he knocks out the Stabilizer. Now the final race of round number 1, John Gordon in Bad Company takes on Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken. John Gordon has suddenly become one of the hottest drivers in Monster Jam. He's winning freestyle competitions left and right, and Nick Pagliarulo has done very well in racing these last couple of weeks. He's seemingly gotten this track figured out. He's got a little weird angle now, though, entering this final turn. Going to be a tough one for him to win. He hits the turning tire, or the turning bump. They both miss the final ramp, but because John Gordon crossed the finish line first, he's off to round 2. Round 2, let's get rolling. Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl takes on Tom Meents, your tour leader in Max D. Tom Meents holding on to a narrow lead at the top of Stadium Tour Red right now. It is very close entering the final turn. And over the line first is Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl. He's off to round 3, the semifinals. Now we see Ryan Disharoon for the first time tonight as the Saigon Shaker pulls up to the line to take on Bryce Kenny, the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. They have green, and they are off. It is very close, but Bryce Kenny with a small lead, but he gets up on 2 wheels. That's going to slow him down going to the final ramp, but it will not slow him down enough as Mohawk Warriors off to the semifinals. Mark List, El Toro Loco against Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. Adam Anderson currently chasing that top spot on the tour. He held it for most of the tour, and this tour is a lot shorter than Stadium Tour Yellow, so it really would behoove Adam Anderson to grab himself a lot of points in this weekend and get back to the top of the tour. Mark List gets up on 2 wheels, and that is going to knock him out of racing. Adam Anderson is off to the semifinals, gaining ground on Tom Meents as the competitions go by. Last race of round 2. Here we go. John Gordon in Bad Company against Todd LeDuc in Blue Thunder. They have green, and it is time to find out who will round out that semifinals round. The first time we're seeing Todd LeDuc tonight here in Blue Thunder. This racing competition's been a good one so far. The angle that we're at, it's kind of hard to tell how close the races are, but a good one here as they both cross the line fairly close. But your winner is Todd LeDuc in Blue Thunder. Absolutely great race. Now we're ready for the semifinals. Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl takes on Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior as the Ford Field offices look on from the distance. Cole Vennard hits the turning bump, slows him down a bit, but he still has a lead. Mohawk Warrior entering the final turn. They're very close, but over the line first is Mohawk Warrior by a thread, and he is off to the final round. The second race here in the semifinals, we have Todd LeDuc and Blue Thunder taking on Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. These two have had a lot of dates in the past. Adam Anderson, 22 wins in his career against Todd LeDuc. Todd LeDuc, 18, so Adam Anderson holds a small advantage in the matchup of these two star drivers. Very close. Over the final jump, it looked like Adam Anderson might have had it, and he did, as he walks out of here with a semifinals win. Fans, it is time for the final round of racing here at Ford Field in Detroit. We've got a great matchup here between two drivers that are hunting a very important racing win. Let's meet the competitors here in this final round. In the near lane, representing the truck in its 40th anniversary, a man who has been dominating all season long, but he has fallen out of the top spot on this tour. It is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. And in the far lane, he is looking for that first racing win of the year. This would be an incredible win if he can snag it. It is Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. In their matchups against each other in their careers, Adam Anderson holds a 20-8 advantage over Bryce Kenny, a heavy favorite in this pairing. Adam Anderson would love nothing more than to grab 12 points and get a bigger jump on Tom Meents. But Bryce Kenny runs away with it in the final round and has snagged his first racing win of the year. How about that? By almost 2 truck lengths. Where did Adam Anderson go? I mean, he fell apart in that final turn. Bryce Kenny was nice and fast, and it snags him a win, and Bryce Kenny going to taunt his good buddy Adam Anderson. I'm sure Adam is just as happy for Bryce as he is mad that he lost that race. Still an incredible pairing, and Bryce Kenny walks out of there with a huge one. It's time for the skills competition.
Detroit.
Leading it off here in skills, this is Jamie Garner in the American Overboard. Lining up for his first of 2 hits. You can either do 2 moves on 2 wheels or 1 donut, putting it in a reverse popper. And walking it up the ramp. Good first hit for Jamie Garner, as he will look to capitalize on that, put down a good second hit. Gosh, that truck is just gorgeous. Jamie Garner, some of the most beautiful bodies you will ever see at a Monster Jam show will come from this team. And a nice sky wheelie off the back side of the racing leg, going old school there. It's a 6.081. Now competing in his first Monster Jam skills competition ever, this is Aaron Kane in Jester. Going for the jammer there, can't quite get anything out of it. For those of you that might be wondering why the name is familiar, like I said earlier, he used to drive the Quad Chaos monster truck, which was on tour with Monster Jam in 2017. He actually was here in 2017 at Ford Field, and what was one of the best shows of the year that year. Not quite sure what that was. I don't think that counts as a move. Was that a move? Oh, that was a move. Okay, 2.825. Cynthia Gauthier, the Lucas stabilizer, goes for the jammer. Nice air off of it. and pops it into a good slat wheelie. She walks the tail almost in the honky tonka. She's got one hit to go. She's honking that horn for the fans here in Detroit. Lining up for the sky wheelie, and a big-time sky wheelie. Getting vertical and putting it in reverse and then getting a nice move out of it after two. What a good two hits. An 8.863. How about that for a score here in the skills competition? Nick Pagliarulo now, cracking. Takes a stab at the skills competition. Going for a sky wheelie on the jammer and walks it down the ramp. You don't see that every week. That rarely happens. And then giving a little test to the flex of this truck. That was a very good hit. There's one hit to go. Stabilizer got an 8.863. She sits in the hot seat. But now Nick Pagliarulo looks to capitalize on a good first hit with a solid second hit, stopping it, moonwalking it, and, well, backs it on top of the step-up. It's a 7.357. Now it's Tom Meents, who's on top of the backflip for his maximum moonwalk. Your Stadium Tour Red Point Series leader at the moment. Looking for a big number here in the skills competition because that would get right back the points that he lost in terms of ground from racing, where Adam Anderson gained some significant ground on Tom Meents. He gained a good amount of ground last week in Arlington, and now Adam has gained ground on him again. So Meents really needs to take advantage of the skills competition, which is his best competition in terms of consistency. Going for the backside of the racing lane. No way! Oh, he's doing it in the skills competition! The jump combo into the stoppie! Now that is what I'm talking about! Tom Meents moonwalking it now. He did the jump off the back of the racing lane, landed it, took the bounce, and popped it into the stoppie. That is how you throw down a skills run. 9.174, and that is a statement out of the professor himself. Well, that sure got me sweating. That brings up Ryan Disharu. Saigon Shaker. Stoppie attempt for hit number one. So Tom Meents, he does that sometimes in freestyle. Well, he'll take advantage of the bounce where the truck ends up on the front two wheels and then he puts it into a stoppie. He's never done it in skills before today in Detroit, and he executed it, I think, better than he ever has. So that's a new skills move right there. That was something special. And he goes for hit number two, and nothing doing there. It's a 1.692. Tough break. Now it's Mark List, El Toro Loco, one of the most consistent skills drivers this year, alongside Camden Murphy in that category. He's definitely been the most consistent here on Stadium Tour Red. Working a very nice stoppie here. Trying to knock Max D out of the top spot. Sets it down. Very good hit number one. Hyping up the fans by blowing the smoke out of the nostrils. There's one hit to go here in skills. He's going to turn back around and hit the ramp from the other side. Getting it down on the front two wheels. Moonwalking it up the ramp. Beautiful moonwalk from El Toro Loco. Two very good hits, but it's hard to take down Tom Meents and what he did. It's an 8.524. That sends in John Gordon. Bad company. Bicycling it. Absolutely thrilling bicycle on that first one. One hit down. So you're going to go for the same thing again? I think what's he do? Oh! Going for, what the heck? You can't quite save it. That was interesting. So Bad Company with a 6.614. A for effort, though.
This is a weird show.
Now from the Dark Sea, it is Colvinard and the Black Pearl. Putting it in a reverse popper. He is so good at balancing that truck and walking it down. Oh, and comboing it into a moonwalk! Yes! Couldn't quite combo it a third time, but that would have been a spectacular three-way combo there if he could have gotten that yet again. He's got one move to go. He has one more hit. Colvinard, the Black Pearl. The leader is Tom Meents, the 9.174 in Max D. Nice hit on the front two wheels there. Moonwalking it towards the ramp and sets it down. Those are two very solid hits. The score does not reflect that. A very low score. It's a 7.128. Todd LeDuc, Blue Thunder. Let's see what he brings here in the skills competition. He had a great skills run last week, earned him the skills win in Arlington. Can't quite get a stoppie there. All are trying to knock the Kingpin down. Tom Meents. Bicycle time for Blue Thunder. He's on the right side of the truck, flexing it a little bit, hitting the brakes, and he's in trouble. That is it for Blue Thunder. His run ends on its lid. It's a 6.385. Now the man we've been waiting for. It's Adam Anderson, Gravedigger, chasing Tom Meents in the top spot of the tour. Very important skills run for Anderson. Little slap wheelie, comboing it up. Doesn't get much out of it, though. He is just really going for those combos this year. And it's worked very well for him. I'm sure at one point, well, there aren't many shows left on this tour, but I'm sure at one point this year, he's going to get a spectacular move on that. I mean, his first couple of the year were awesome. Going for a bicycle, bicycling it on top of the ramp, and sets it down. Two good hits, but not where they needed to be in order to take Tom Meents out. It's a 7.663, so that also puts him a little bit lower in the standings, which will hurt him entering freestyle. Now your racing winner, looking for a double down. Bryce Kenny, the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Hit number one's a stoppie attempt. Moonwalks it a little bit, but can't get much. So he'll have to try and up the bar for hit number two. Tom Meents sits in the top spot with a 9.174. This is the last run of this skills competition, so if Kenny can't knock him out, then Tom Meents adds a trophy to his collection here in show one of two in Detroit. Little too far forward on this. We'll see if he can make something work. Little stoppie, didn't get tons of kick out of it. Moonwalks it up the ramp, though. Doesn't get much more after that, and the score reflects it's a 5.776. So Mohawk Warrior will settle for a 10th place finish here in the skills competition. Your winner in skills is Tom Meents and Max D. Let's get rolling into freestyle. That brings up the freestyle competition, and leading it off is the only driver with the last name of Kane in the sport this season, which is just so strange to say. It's Aaron Kane and Jester. Aaron Kane filling in for Matt Pagliarulo this weekend. I'm not sure why. Let me look that up for you and try and figure it out, because I'm sure there's a reason. Either way, though, pretty cool to see him getting out here in the Monster Jam scene. Yeah, no, they didn't say anything on their Instagram. Aaron Kane, nice air. He's not a bad driver by any means. Aaron Kane's a very, very capable driver. Always has been a very good independent. And like I mentioned, he was here in 2017 when Monster Jam rolled in, when he was on Stadium Tour Yellow that year. In that show in 2017, that was the year that Matt Byton did that incredible sidewall save. It was like the save of the year. Now, this is Jester's first time in this venue since 2016, so Aaron Kane, ironically enough, has been in this venue more recently than the truck. Obviously not his truck, but still pretty funny. Just a rental for the weekend for Aaron Cain, but he's certainly driving it. I mean, this is his driving style. He's not taking it easy at all. I mean, he's not going full bore either. I mean, he can definitely do more than this, but it's not like he's babying it because it's not his truck. The body's starting to fall apart, as it has pretty much every week this year, because Pagliarulo really destroyed that thing early on in the season. I'm sure he can't wait to unveil that new body at the Monster Jam World Finals in Orlando. And that'll do it for Aaron Cain's run here in Jester. Leading off the competition right with a 5.441. Now your racing winner tonight, Bryce Kenny, Mohawk Warrior, going over the racing lane, coming out a little early here in the freestyle competition, but that's what happens when you have a low freestyle score in the week prior. Last week's show in Arlington was one of the best, if not the best shows of the year. I mean, that was just awesome. It was a one-show weekend, which has been such a rarity this year, and the drivers just put all their effort in that one show. And it was just a blast. I mean, everyone did so well last weekend. Nice air off of the jammer, putting it into a slap wheelie. Had a lucky bounce that kind of put him into it, but still a good execution after the bounce. And a donut, why not? Little old school moves here. The slap wheelie and then a donut. So the lead is a 5.441. That was set up by Jester. You've got to believe that Kenny is going to take that lead. Obviously a threat to win any freestyle competition that he is in. However, he doesn't have a freestyle win this year, so you never know when it's going to come for Bryce Kenny. This is also his first ever appearance in Detroit, going for some nice air. A lot of drivers making their first appearance here in this stadium. However, Mohawk Warrior was here every year from 2014 through 16. He's lining up for the backflip. First attempt of the night. Little weird angle in the air. Hit hard on that back left, but for now the truck is still rolling. So the first backflip land of the night. A weird bounce off of that ramp, comboing it into a wheelie on top of the pod, and he just sets it down there. Good run from Mohawk Warrior, an 8.537. Now it's Jamie Garner, that beautiful overboard America body. He didn't do much damage to it last week, so that thing looks crisp as ever today. Nice air on the step up. Locked and loaded. Got pretty vertical on it too. And more nice air on the backside of the racing lane. Jamie Garner has not won a competition this year, and you know he would have loved to add a freestyle win to his belt. Last year he had some really good freestyles. I don't think he ever won a freestyle competition last year, but he still had some of the best freestyles of his career in 2021. I got to witness one of them in Houston. I believe that was Houston 5 that I was at, that show was. It was either 5 or 6. It was the last one of the first quarter. Well, there was no real first quarter last year. It was the last one of the points competition. Wouldn't have been the last one, though, if it weren't for the snow that weekend. This is like a couple other drivers, the first time Jamie Garner and Overboard are here at Ford Field. And again, as I mentioned in the open, this is the first time Monster Jam's in Ford Field since 2019. It was one of the first shows that ended up getting canceled in 2020. I'm sorry, in 2020. They didn't ever come back last year, so nice to see Monster Jam back in the Motor City. Detroit Ford Field has always been an iconic venue for Monster Jam, so glad to have it back. And I'm sure the fans are happy to be back watching their monster trucks as well. he going for the mini flip? Yes, he is. Overboard, going for the mini flip. Big air on it. Hard landing on the back left, on the side, and it is done. That body takes a little bit of body damage for the first time. It's an 8.056, good enough for second. Now, Todd the Duke, one of the best Monster Jam freestylers of all time, hits the track here at Ford Field. He's underway. 2 minutes on the clock for Blue Thunder. The Duke, a two-time World Finals champion. 2015 freestyle champion, 2016 racing champion. Nope, I did that backwards again. I always do it backwards. What is wrong with me? Huge error over the racing lane. 2014 freestyle champion, 2015 racing champion. Get it right. God. I've screwed that up twice this year. The only 2 times I've attempted to do it, and I've gotten it wrong. Nonetheless, he's freestyling. At least I get it right in the end and correct myself, but one of these days I'll get it right first try, and I'm going to just keep on trying till I do. Feel the energy, Blue Thunder. Trying to knock down your leader of an 8.537 that's held by Mohawk Warrior. Bryce Kenny holds that top score. He won racing, so winning freestyle will be huge, and Todd the Duke is airing this puppy out. Goodness, that was big air, the biggest we have seen tonight. Now going pretty fast over the racing lane as well. This side's racing lane doesn't have much of a ramp built onto it. It's the other side that has the hang time you can get. More hang time from the Duke, who can create it pretty much anywhere. It's so impressive what Todd the Duke can do in this truck, and he's just not afraid. He just isn't ever afraid. He's going for the mini flip now. Hits it, over-rotates it a little bit, but hits on all fours still. A little hard landing on the back end, but it's still all right. Truck is still rolling, and he can now finish off his freestyle as he looks to do so with a bang. He's got maybe one move left. Finishing it off with a nice jump off of the step-up. And Blue Thunder is done at 9.291, and he ends it on its lid just for fun. A little added cherry on top for the fans here at Ford Field. And that is your new leader here in freestyle. Now the Kraken, freestyling here at Ford Field, going over the racing lane to start off his time. Todd the Duke is now the new leader after a good run. Had 2 really large hits in that freestyle and then had the mini flip. So if you want to take the lead, get some big air, maybe have a wow moment. Obviously got to do a backflip. Kraken going over the racing lane again. He utilizes those racing lanes a lot. And on this tour, like I said before, this side's racing lane doesn't get you much hang time, but it'll get you sent forward like he just did. But the other racing lane, which, no, he is not going for, but the other racing lane gets you more up in the air. He is utilizing the jammer there to get some big air that time. Throwing this truck around, and again coming back for this racing lane for a 3rd time of the run. Starting to use the same hit over and over again, which you never want to do because then it starts getting a little repetitive, and fans pick up on that. Nice air, and as usual, his brakes are starting to get red hot. Oh my, in a sticky situation, but a save from Kraken. And that is a big move. The best move of the night so far. Wonder if the truck's alright. Can't quite tell. I think he might have broken rear steer. He's going for a donut nonetheless, celebrating that big move. Oh, he has locked up Planetary in the front right. That's the problem. So that'll end the run. It's not good enough for him to take the lead, but that save is certainly one of the moments of the night here with an 8.453. He is pumped up. Now Mark List gets his freestyle rolling. The El Toro Loco monster truck takes the track here at Ford Field. I don't know if that counts for hit number 1. I think it does. That's still a hit, though, for sure. So he's underway. Always gotta love when drivers throw in the skills moves. Mark List's first time in Detroit. This entire tour for Mark List, he's making his first appearance in pretty much all of these stadiums. Huge air! Whoa! That was some of the biggest air off of that center ramp of the night. Of the year, honestly. And more big air following it up. Oh boy! Weird bounce! Hard crash! El Toro Loco! And that is a brutal ending for El Toro Loco at an 8.303. That is not the first time he's done that this year. I mean, he fully sent that thing. The truck bounced everywhere. Truck parts, body parts just breaking, flying. And that is it. But what a good run from Mark List. Now your tour leader, Tom Meents and Max D. Off and running. He was able to win the skills competition, which added 12 more points to his total, so he kind of eliminated the ground that Adam Anderson had made up in racing. But now he has a chance to really add on to that here in freestyle. Huge leap. Wow. That was really big air. Oh boy, I think he broke a sway bar on the right side. I don't know, something's broken on the right side. I don't know how the sway bars work, but that truck is leaning to the right, and they're going to have to shut him off. That's the end of the run. A tough break for Max D, and that's not going to fill the time needed to get a score either, so that's a 0. This is Cole Vennard, Black Pearl. Freestyle time for him here in Detroit. This is Cole Vennard's first time here at Ford Field. Vennard won his first freestyle of the year back in Minneapolis, so he's got one under his belt. Nice sky wheelie on the backside of the jammer. I always love when drivers hit ramps at the angle they weren't supposed to hit it at. Like hitting the jammer from the back half of it. Big air on the step up. Nice sky wheelie. Because when they do that, it's just different. You know, it's not necessarily intended to be hit from the backside. Not many people do. But when you do, it's always a pretty cool move. Because it's just different. So I guarantee you we're not going to see anyone else hit the jammer that way for the rest of the weekend. While yes, they might hit it from that side, but they're not going to go, like, actually make a move out of it. They might just hit it and kind of lazily roll over it. But Vennard actually made a move out of it. He's utilizing both sides of that step up as well. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the fuel pods this year for Team Overboard are blue. They've got like a blue tint to them, which is really cool. As the VP flag goes flying off. It is backflip time for Cole Vennard, the Black Pearl. Little weird rotation. Oh yeah, walking the plank for the first time of 2022. Cole Vennard finally gets his move and a wheel just shaves off. But Cole Vennard gets his signature move for the first time of the year, and it is a first place spot now with a 9.379. That is a big-time run out of Cole Vennard. Now John Gordon in Bad Company. He's been red hot in freestyle lately, starting his run off. He has won 2 out of the 3 last freestyle competitions. All these stats that I'm getting are credit of Real Monster Hub on Instagram. It is not his first time here in Ford Field. He was here in 2019. Here in the Bad Company truck, so one of the few drivers that have participated in an event here. Not many trucks left in freestyle, so Cole Vennard taking the lead there. certainly sets himself up nicely for the rest of tonight. But John Gordon is always a threat anytime he's out there. I mean, he is typically good to fill the clock and do 2 minutes and get a backflip in there. Oh no, on the left side on the sidewalls. Can he save it? No, not quite. That is it. Tough break. He will not fill the 2 minutes this time. Bad Company, 5.651. Now Ryan Disharoon, Saigon Shaker, going for a bicycle for hit number 1. Oh no, on the side. Can he get the save? No. Oh man. Tough break, and that is going to be a 0 for Saigon Shaker. Oh boy, they're booing him. That doesn't happen much. That's too bad. That's the end of the run. Now, that brings up Cynthia Gauthier, the Lucas Stabilizer, also known as the Honky Tonka, ready to roll right here at Ford Field here in 2022. She is really horn happy. Going over the racing lane. She really loves blowing that horn every single show. I mean, she has turned that into such a trademark. Now, she was also here in 2019 in that event, so this is not her first time here. Drove the Monster Mutt Dalmatian Ice in that event. Big air on the jammer. Goodness, she got vertical on that. Current leader is Colvinard in the Black Pearl with a 9.379. He set a good standard. He didn't fill the clock, though, which could hurt him when it comes to the scores. Big air on the step up. Nice hit. I still can't believe they booed Ryan. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I saw a run get booed. I don't know if it's ever happened before. I'm sure it has. I don't personally remember it ever happening. That is really, I mean, not only is it terrible to boo a run after it's over, I mean, that's just, like, awful. But I can't recall it ever happening before. Because it's terrible to do. I mean, like, why would you boo him? Going over the back side of the racing lane. Actually, I have... Why am I saying I've never heard that before? I have had that happen before, actually. At the Arizona State Fair this year. Oh boy, the Stabilizer almost lost it. At the Arizona State Fair this year, a truck came out, Rat Attack came out and couldn't run. And I was actually the host, which is the only reason why I remember, because they started booing and I said, don't boo him. I said, he built this truck himself. He runs on this truck himself. Like, he pays for the parts on this thing. Backflip from the Stabilizer. Beautiful backflip. And I told them, I said, stop booing him. And I actually got them to cheer for him. I was pretty proud. Sets a red light for the Stabilizer. That's the end of the run. Not the best run here of the night, for sure. Colvinard's was certainly better. But the fans are going to give it to her anyway. It's a 9.560. I have nothing good to say. Colvinard is your deserved leader with the best run of the night so far. To me, by far. But nonetheless, congratulations to Cynthia. She takes the lead. Adam Anderson now freestyling. I think this is the last run of the night. Yeah, this is the last run of the night. Off and running. Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. Oh, no. Ooh. Well, that didn't sound good. That's the end of the run. Alrighty. Well, Gravedigger gets a 0. What a shame. Well, that's the end of the run, and that's going to be the end of... it's going to be the end of the show here in show number 1. So Gravedigger's done. That's it. It's a 0. So Stabilizer wins freestyle. I disagree with that, but that's okay. She takes it home. Congratulations to Cynthia Gauthier. She's fired up, as she should be. That's a big freestyle win for her. And we head in now to show number 2. So now we get into show number 2, and Ricky Only is in the Saigon Shaker for this event. A big-time thing for him to get out here and drive Saigon Shaker. And he is taking on Cynthia Gauthier in the Lucas Stabilizer. I don't know the last time Ricky only drove a monster truck or the last time he drove in a Monster Jam event. And he is going to get knocked down in round one as he has a big mistake after that second jump. And Cynthia Gauthier crosses the line with a victory. So she is off to round number 2. Oh, wait, no. No, she didn't. She didn't even cross the line. What happened there? She didn't even cross the line. She didn't even hit the jump. What the heck? Why didn't she hit the jump? All right, well, that's it. So Saigon Shaker moves on. That was a disaster of a race. Now, the last time Ricky only drove a Monster Jam was, well, this past summer. So I just learned that. I got that information from my good buddy Phil. We now run along in racing here as Jamie Garner in Overboard takes on Mark List in El Toro Loco. And to the final turn, El Toro Loco has a lead and a win here in round number 1. This racing competition's off to quite the interesting start as John Gordon and Bad Company now takes on Aaron Kane and Jester. Sorry, got to get back into the rhythm of saying Aaron Kane, just not used to that. It's daytime here at Ford Field 2, and Aaron Kane is falling way behind, and he is all over the place. Thankfully not getting that truck on its lid, but John Gordon, well, he's got a very easy win here in round number 1 in what has been still a very interesting racing competition. That brings up Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken as he takes on Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl. Nick Pagliarulo's done pretty well in racing this season. And that is a big lead for Black Pearl now heading into the final turn as Jester's teammate Kraken is having some problems. Both of them struggling here in racing to have clean passes, and neither of those trucks are going on to the next round. It's time for round 2. Adam Anderson in Gravedigger now takes on Ricky Only in Saigon Shaker, who snagged a race win. Adam Anderson chasing the top spot on the tour. Ricky Only is all over the place in Saigon Shaker. And Adam Anderson with a dominant win here in round 2. He's off to the next round. Ricky Only couldn't even finish the race. That brings up Todd the Duke, the one-time World Finals racing champion in Blue Thunder. His opponent is John Gordon in Bad Company. A lot of drivers coming out of that red lane on that second jump are just really having problems. And John Gordon even bigger problems that will hold him out of the next round. Todd the Duke heading off to the semis. This has been really a very interesting racing competition. Now Tom Mentz and Max D takes on Cole Vennard in the Black Pearl. Both he and Adam Anderson are tangoing for the top spot of Stadium Tour Red's Points Tour. Adam Anderson moved on to the semifinals. Now Tom Mentz hoping to do the same. It's a close race, but Mentz crosses the line first by a thread, keeps himself alive. We now have a rematch of last night's final round. Bryce Kenny and the Mohawk Warrior taking on Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. We're in the semifinals. We missed a race there, I guess. Mohawk Warrior beat El Toro Loco to move on, so semifinals are underway. And Adam Anderson with a big-time revenge race there as he knocks out the Mohawk Warrior. Next pairing here in the semifinals, Todd the Duke, Blue Thunder, and Tom Mentz, Max D. The winner will face Adam Anderson in the final round. Todd the Duke has some body damage on the rear. He's missing a tailgate. It's Ford Field, formerly the Built Ford Tough Blue Thunder. It's no longer Built Ford Tough. I don't know if it's even a Ford anymore. I haven't paid attention to that this year. But either way, whatever truck it is, yeah, it's still a Ford. Blue Thunder is off to the final round. Todd the Duke with a big win there over Tom Meents. Adam Anderson happy that Meents is knocked out. It's time for the final round of Monster Jam Racing here in Ford Field. In the far lane, he was in the final round last night and has looked fast tonight. He is chasing the top spot on the tour. It is Adam Anderson in Gravedigger. In the near lane, he is a two-time World Finals champion, one-time World Finals racing champion. He has also looked very fast tonight. It's Todd the Duke in Blue Thunder. These two have matched up plenty in their careers. And this is going to be a great matchup of two World Finals racing champions. Got a five-time World Finals champion who is doing a donut in the turn. And Todd the Duke just needs to finish the race, and the competition win is his. What an interesting night of racing. One of the wackiest nights of racing we have had of the year, that's for sure. Most certainly the most sloppy nights of racing we've had of the year. But Todd the Duke walks out of it with a win and 12 points. He was clean all of his races tonight, and that's all he needed as he now enters skills with a win. Now it's time for skills, where you can do either two moves on two wheels or one donut. The Lucas stabilizer, going for the jammer, off and running. I just realized we're on the other side of the track as we were last night, which always is a fun time to see things from a different angle than we did the show before. Cynthia Gauthier, she won freestyle last night. Going for the jammer, the log, and a massive sky wheelie. And walking the wheelie down the ramp. She's had some seriously good sky wheelies this year, and it earns her a score of a 7.862. Good run to start off the skills competition. Now Jamie Garner and Overboard. That beautiful America body had a little bit of body damage last night in freestyle as he rolled it over. Putting it into a reverse popper. Doesn't want to roll it over here. Absolutely perfectly balanced it there. Superb balance from Jamie Garner for hit number one. He's got one hit to go, going for a sky wheelie off the back of the racing lane, and that is hit number two. And that's a score of a 6.854. Aaron Kane, Jester, skills time. Whipping up a donut. A very solid donut, might I add, as well. It's not enough for the lead. It's a 7.364, but puts him in second. That brings up John Gordon in Bad Company. Unfortunately, El Toro Loco came out, but the truck just wouldn't go. And he didn't even get to complete, or he didn't even get to attempt anything, so he did not compete. John Gordon now in the skills competition, going for a bicycle. Went for the moonwalk there. Couldn't quite get it to hit, but I like where his head's at. Clearly feeling pretty comfortable doing the bicycles. It's something he's done a lot. Going for the jammer now. Hitting the gas a little bit, revving the engine, and then walking a slat wheelie, and that takes the lead with an 8.126. Now Colvinard and the Black Pearl lines up here in the skills competition of show 2. On the rear two wheels. Sitting it down. And now walking it back up the ramp. Very smooth. He won the overall event championship last night, trying to add some more points to his total today. Adam Anderson on the back of the truck. I still don't understand why that is. He's going on top of the step up now. Maybe some stoppy action. Yes, indeed. Stopping it. Looking good. Walking that thing back and forth and sets it down. Black Pearl takes the lead. It's an 8.489. That brings up Bryce Kenny, the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Won racing last night, looking for a skills win to add on to it, and can't quite get it. These last two shows, he has not gotten really any good hits on the stoppy try. Let's see if he can make up for it in hit number 2. So Colvinard's your newest leader at an 8.489. We've had a lot of lead changes here in this skills competition. It's been a very eventful show, to say the least. Hit number 2, there you have it. Finally gets a good kick. And now he's balancing it. Let's see how long he can balance it for. Balancing it, moonwalking it up the ramp. Oh, and a combo into the wheelie. Good second hit. Unfortunately, hit number 1 wasn't the best, so he doesn't get first. It's an 8.394, though, second place. That brings up Ricky Only in the Saigon Shaker. Hitting the jammer. Can't quite get much out of it. He has 1 hit to go. I didn't know that he competed last year. That's pretty cool. In a show in Newark. That I probably would have been at if I was still in New York. Little combo here. Oh boy, and a weird bounce. Broken truck, too, for Saigon Shaker. It's a 5.337. Tom Meents now, the maximum moonwalk. He won skills last night, looking for his second skills win of the weekend, trying to sweep the competition. And also trying to hold his spot at the top of the tour. He lost some ground in racing, so hoping to gain it right back here in skills. A good first hit. Now, last night we saw him do the, I don't know what you want to call it, the stoppy hop, maybe you can call it. I don't know. I think that's what I'm going to call it, the stoppy hop. Oh yeah, he's lining up for it. I don't know why he needs to back up so far. You don't really need to get that much run up on it. Going for the stoppy hop. Here we go. Backside of the racing lane. Hitting the brakes. Oh no, he doesn't get it. Too bad. He still takes the lead though at an 8.712. It's been a pretty uneventful skills competition so far, but that's the lead. So now Adam Anderson, the only way he can gain ground on Tom Meents is to take the lead here in skills. Going for the step up. Whoa, big sky wheelie. Oh no, a weird bounce and the truck just digs itself into the ground. That's a terrible break. It's a 7.570. Now Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken takes the track. Going for the jammer. Wheeling it, dragging it all the way up the ramp. You gotta love that. Little, oh, and he combos it a little bit. So that's 1 hit in the books. He's got 1 hit to go. Lining up for the jammer, his second jammer hit of the run. Going for it. The brakes lock up, and another nice slat wheelie. That was a very good 2 hits there for Kraken. The score is ridiculously low at a 7.241, but what are you going to do? These Detroit fans have shown so far that they aren't the best judgers in the world. Now your last run of the skills competition. Todd LeDuc and Blue Thunder trying to take out Tom Meents, who's in the top spot. Going for a bicycle for hit number 1, and not much there. This has been a very weird... I don't like to say it, but this has definitely been the worst show of the year for this tour. This has been a really good tour so far. I mean, they have had action-packed show after action-packed show. Now, there's still freestyle, obviously, and freestyle oftentimes is the highlight. So let's hope that redeems it a little bit. Maybe Todd's second hit here will redeem it, but it doesn't, unfortunately. It's a 6.063, which means that Tom Meents brings home another competition win. He is your skills winner here in Show 2. That brings up Aaron Kane, Jester. Freestyle's underway here in Show 2 at Ford Field. 2 minutes on the clock to do whatever the heck he wants on this track. Okay, that was interesting. Nice air on the backside of the racing lane. I would love it if Aaron Kane just whipped a backflip. Matt Pagliarulo hasn't even done a backflip this year, so could you imagine if Aaron Kane does the first backflip in Jester of the season? That would be really funny. It would also probably make Matt Pagliarulo pretty angry, so yeah, you're not going to get through there. Unfortunately, Saigon Shaker does not compete, so we won't get to see Ricky only compete in a stadium show. No clue when the last time he competed in a stadium show was, and I'm not going to go find out for you. I had to wake up poor Phil by asking him that. Oh, nice! Air on that truck out! Like I said, Aaron Kane is not a bad driver. He has always been a very good freestyler. He would get some serious hang time in that Quad Chaos truck. Like I said, I don't know what he's doing these days. Nice air on the step up. I mean, he's living up to the Jester name. He fits the Jester truck really well with the driving style that he's got, because Matt Pagliarulo is one of those guys, he doesn't get the momentum, but he gets that every once in a while big air. And that's pretty much what Aaron Kane's doing. And a nice donut attempt. Let's see what he's got. That's a good donut right there. Time expires. He pops it on the pod. And it's a 7.361 for Aaron Kane. And a good weekend. Here from him filling in for Jester. John Gordon, Bad Company, freestyling now. Setting himself up for his first hit. Coming out second, definitely not representative of the driver John Gordon is, especially what he's done this year. He's won 2 out of the last 4 freestyle competitions. He has been really good. Big air, launched it. That side of the step up rarely gets you that much hang time. It typically just sends you forward as opposed to upward. That thing sent him straight up, too. That was a really good hit. Good way to start off the run. It's a good way to grab the attention. We always talk about announcing your presence. Well, that was a good way to do that. Great example. And you got to lead by example, too. He's only the second truck out of 11 in this freestyle competition, so you've got to do what you can. Big air on the backside of the racing lane. I mentioned it a couple times this year that anytime you get a good driver coming out early in freestyle, more big air, you've got to set the bar, because you know that you can then set up for a really good show and a good freestyle show if you set a really high bar early, and John Gordon is certainly doing that. Aaron Kane had a good run to start, but this is talking about setting a high bar. I mean, he is just sending it every hit. You can tell he's frustrated that he didn't get that great of a run last night, because he is taking out that anger on this track here in Detroit in a nice slap wheelie. Oh, he's going fast to that mini flip. And a weird bounce in the air. That was just not going to work with the angle he took. It takes the lead, though, to 9.108. A very good freestyle to that point, and that sets the bar for the rest of the runs out. Number 3 in freestyles, Tom Meents and Max D. Quite the clouds of smoke on the track. Hovering over the track. I guess Bad Company had some excretions after they got him back over. Tom Meents, your skills winner from tonight. He didn't complete the time required to get a score in last night's event, so that's why he's coming out so early. You know Tom now is looking to knock out John Gordon from the top spot. Up there it is! The hop stop. What did I call it? I don't know. I think the hop stoppie's pretty fun too. I don't know. I'm just gonna call it whatever the heck I want. I don't care. I don't need to have a name for it. If I remember a consistent name for it, then sure. It was still cool. Oh boy, sending it to the center of the track, the biggest air of the weekend, a bounce on the right side of the truck, but gassing it out and still going. Tom Meents, woo, riding on the ragged edge here in Ford Field and following it up with some more big air. Almost went for the hop stoppie, couldn't quite get it, and now it's backflip time. Big air on the backflip, goodness. And no damage to the truck either. So he is going to keep on rolling. Oh my God! Full sent off of the jammer, ends on his lid. But that was some of the biggest air of the year, if not the biggest leap of 2022. Holy cow! He saw that jammer and put his foot to the floor. A 9.744, Tom Meents with an air assault and showing up on the Detroit Airport radar with that one. What a run. Out of the truck, fired up as he should be, as Tom Meents just got the fans and myself fired up. Now Jamie Garner and Overboard has to follow that. And he does big air to start off the run. So the American Overboard not messing around. I mean, what Tom Meents just did, I mean, that was spectacular. Didn't fill the clock. He left about 26 seconds, so that might come back to bite him at the end of the night. But a 9.744 is almost unbeatable. I mean, how many times in Monster Jam history has someone put up a score that high that it's been topped? I mean, it's probably been maybe 2% of the time, maybe less. But Jamie Garner's the first man to try and top it. It's going to be almost impossible tonight to beat Tom Meents, but who knows? Adam Anderson, you know, is going to want to top it later because he needs to beat him for points. He already lost some ground in skills, or lost whatever ground he had made in racing. So Adam Anderson's kind of net, not really getting much this weekend. He's hoping for a big freestyle run, though, to maybe get something. Garner's pace has certainly slowed down a lot since the beginning of the run. He started off really strong, but hasn't gotten much since. Nice air. Pinned up against a dumpster. I hope that's not the end of the run. Too bad there from Overboard. It's a 6.114. You know he was looking for more than that. That brings out from the back, it's Adam Anderson and Gravedigger. Adam did not get a score in last night's competition because of a broken truck, so he is hoping for vengeance. Both he and Tom Meents were here in 2006. That was the first time the two of them were both in this venue in their careers. Oh, he's got the green rims on. Sorry, the green beadlocks. Big air over the racing lane. I mean, you've got to believe that. Oh, no! He broke a wheel off, and that's the end of the run. So back-to-back nights with a 0 for Adam Anderson. That is frustrating. So in a competition where Adam Anderson needed to go above and beyond and have the run of the year, he ends up getting a 0, and that is the exact opposite of progress for him tonight, and that has to be frustrating beyond all belief. Now it's Mark List, El Toro Loco, and he has just had some serious truck problems tonight. The truck just doesn't even want to start. Thankfully, he gets it going again. That might be a problem. That's some mechanical issues with this truck. That could be some wiring problem. Oh no, the truck shuts off again. This truck is just not wanting to go today. Oh, he's got it refired, and it's gone again. This is a very... Alright, he's going again. Maybe, hopefully the truck doesn't turn off this time. Oh, they're taking him off the track. That's it. Alright, so that's a 0 for El Toro Loco. That is a terrible break. Wait, are they going to let him go? No, they're going to let him keep... What's happening? I think he's just pulling off to the side. Yeah, that's too bad. So that's the end of the run. He doesn't even hit anything, so that's... well, he does. He hit the racing lane once, but that's going to be it. Which brings up Nick Pagliarulo and Kraken. He's had a very disappointing night tonight. Got knocked out in round 1 of racing, didn't have the best skills run, so you know he is hoping to redeem himself here in freestyle. His teammate Aaron Kane had a solid run to start off the competition in what has been a very interesting show so far here in Show 2 in Detroit. Setting himself up to start off his run, and he is full throttling it already, drifting around in the turn, and he's off. Big air over that racing lane. Wow. Looks like tonight we have the opposite as it was last night. Well, I mean, it's the same in terms of video. Oh no, he had a pop tire, and he's done. Oh boy, what a night. This has been a disaster. It's a 0 for Kraken. Last week's title was This Show Was Incredible. This week's title might be This Show Sucks. That brings up Cynthia Gauthier and the Lucas Stabilizer. Obviously, I'm not going to actually make that the title. Well, I may, depending on how bad it gets. She won freestyle last night, but she's still not coming out last, which just confuses me even further. Again, though, like I said last week, I wonder if they're ordering the freestyle competition and how they thought it should have gone. Which would make sense, considering that, you know, Cynthia definitely didn't deserve to win freestyle last night, so that would make sense as to why she's coming out before Black Pearl and Blue Thunder. Doesn't make sense why she's coming out before Mohawk Warrior. I don't know, I'm just lost. This entire show has been just I don't know, it's just been weird. It's a weird one. Nice little move there from Cynthia to get the fans going a little bit. Really all we've had tonight's been Tom Mentz's incredible freestyle. Now while yes it was awesome and it certainly makes up for the rest of what has been an atrocious show, he got a 9.744 and is in the lead. And obviously, I say atrocious show, I don't mean like it's a bad show. Obviously, big air. Anytime Monster Jam's going, it's a great time. Like I said, I think I said it a few weeks ago. I don't remember. I think it was last week in one of the 4 commentaries I did. Whoa! Okay, that's the end of the run for Stabilizer. What I was saying last week is that I don't care how bad the show is. If it's a Monster Jam show, I'm happy. I don't care. I'm enjoying myself. While some are, you know, worse than others, I'm still enjoying myself. It's an 8.411 for Cynthia Gauthier. That brings up Bryce Kenny. Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. Hits the racing lane to start. Chasing Tom Mentz, who's at the top with a 9.744. Bryce has had a weekend to forget here in Detroit, that's for sure. Very reminiscent of that first weekend of the year. Gosh, that step-up is getting some nice air today. I hope they angle the step-up on that side like this for the rest of the year. But that first weekend of the year for Bryce in, where was it? San Antonio, I think? Yeah, they started the year in San Antonio. I'm sorry, my memory for some reason is going away as I get older. I'm only 21 years old and my memory's going away. Can you believe that? But that first weekend in San Antonio, the truck just had so many problems. He just didn't have luck on his side, and it put him really far behind the point standings already from that point. And this weekend has been very similar to that, where it's just not his weekend. It just hasn't been Bryce Kenny's year, let's be honest. And I said it in last week's show that I think that first weekend really threw him off because he was put in a rut immediately, and he had to dig himself out of that rut from the start, and you never want to do that. And so that just put him in a bad spot, and I think he's been pressing ever since, and because of that, it's leading to some mistakes and not the best performances from Bryce Kenny, and it's not anything against him, it's just that I think he's maybe trying a little too hard to make up the ground that he's so far behind him. He's going for the backflip. Only the second backflip of the night, and breaks the rear axle. That's the end of the run for Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. It's a 9.235. Down to our last two here in freestyle, and the first of those two is Todd the Duke, the 2014 World Finals Freestyle Champion. Won racing today in the evening, well, the afternoon show rather. Beat out Adam Anderson. And now he looks to take down Tom Meents, who sits atop the freestyle crown. What? That doesn't make sense. He sits atop the freestyle pack with the freestyle crown is what I meant to say. Now the Duke is well known for his big air, and while Tom Meents had that monster leap, we haven't seen Todd the Duke get... I mean, he's had a couple LeDuc leaps this year where, I mean, they're LeDuc leaps just because we know that Todd the Duke gets big air, so anytime he gets big air, we call it a LeDuc leap. It's just the thing. But he hasn't had any, like, real LeDuc leaps. The real LeDuc leaps, there's only been 3 in Monster Jam history. 2014 World Finals, 2019 in Glendale, and 2019 at the World Finals. Those are the 3 that Todd the Duke has ever done. I think there's probably 1 or 2 more that I'm missing, but those are the ones where he just gets that jaw-dropping air where it's like, oh my god, there's no way he just did that. But he's known for his big air. That's his thing. There's the elite LeDuc leaps, and then there's just the LeDuc leaps. Lining up for the backflip. They left Mohawk Warrior there, so that eliminates that side of the backflip ramp. Nice backflip from LeDuc. Oh my god! Another one on the jammer, and that is the highest jump in Monster Jam history. I don't believe what I just saw. I am stunned. We need to see that again. I need a minute. We need to see that again. I mean, look at this. This was the highest anyone has ever been in a Monster Jam truck in an event. I mean, plain and simple. I mean, what was that? You do the math, it probably isn't actually the highest. But in terms of a freestyle competition off of a ramp like that, I mean, we're looking at it for a second time. I mean, this is unbelievable. Oh my god, that is just, it's incredible. It's a 9.785, your new leader, and Todd the Duke, I just want to shake your hand. You want to talk about LeDuc leaps? That was a LeDuc leap. Now somehow Cole Vennard has to follow that as the last run of the night. mean, what do you do after that? I mean, Todd the Duke just sent himself to the moon. And now Cole Vennard is to freestyle. I mean, like, I couldn't even imagine having to come out after that. Todd the Duke got higher from this angle. He was above the second deck. I mean, that's like, it's incredible. I'm having an asthma attack. Todd the Duke gave me an asthma attack. So worth it, though. Wow. Okay, so Cole Vennard is freestyling. I can't stop thinking about what Todd the Duke just did because that was incredible. I need to post that on my Instagram. I don't care that it's 2 days after. It needs to go on my Instagram. On both my personal and my Monster Jam Instagram. Because that was incredible. Cole Vennard's just kind of searching around right now for a hit. I mean, what do you even say? I'm speechless. I'm clearly not speechless. I'm talking a hell of a lot. But rightfully so. He's lining up. I don't think he has rear steer. I think that's the problem. I'm just not paying attention. Backflip time from Vennard. And he lands it. He got the walk the plank last night for the first time of the year. It would have been pretty cool. I think I would have lost my mind if he just got the walk the plank, and I probably would have gone into a fit of asthma. So probably a good thing that he did it for my sake. And he's going to end it with some big air. Well, I don't know if that's the end, but he's going to continue it with some big air towards the end of the run. I'm just disoriented at this point. I mean, there's not much I could do. Wow, hitting the step up from the side! And he gets a wheel broken off. What the heck? Why are all the wheels coming off this weekend? It's rolling right to us. Boof. Alrighty, well that's the end of the run. It's an 8.860, but we all know your freestyle winner tonight, deservingly, is Todd the Duke in Blue Thunder. And goodness gracious, was it a highlight. Let's take a look at the upcoming commentary, shall we? So the upcoming commentaries, as you can see, next week we have El Paso, in which I will be at. Thankfully, I'm getting to record that show myself, my first time ever out in El Paso. I'm really excited for that one. That'll be the only commentary next weekend. And for the next 4 weeks, I only have to do one commentary. I mean, my voice is going to be so great at the end of this month. This is a month of one commentary a weekend. I mean, my body is about to be loving itself. And then we get a week off in between the Jacksonville and Seattle show. So things are about to be so great in terms of my schedule. Unfortunately, there's no Major League Baseball for me to watch, but on the bright side, I've got plenty of other things to do in the meantime. But thank you. You don't need to hear me ramble about that. Thank you guys so much for watching. What a weird show here we had right out here in Ford Field. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if